What's up guys, Max here, back with an update to Dragon Ball FighterZ and what is potentially the final character that is going to be composing the main roster for the game. As we all saw before, Android 21 was specifically announced with story elements in mind, how she's going to play a critical factor in the role of the story, but we didn't really see this one coming, as there is a huge character transformation that came out of left field, and her playable form is going to be Majin Android 21. A big shout out to Shonen Games. They have full translations of the scans that came from Japan, and if you want to get a full look at these in high resolution, you can check out their website as well, and I'll leave a link in the description below. So pretty much this character in the story is going to come across as her regular form, her Android 21 normal lab coat form, and then when she actually fights or is in battle, she practically becomes a completely different character as she takes on her Majin form, and this is going to heavily dictate what kind of a character she's going to be, because indeed she will be playable. But the way she's playable is going to be kind of similar to a couple other characters that is in Dragon Ball FighterZ, specifically Super Saiyan Blue with Goku and Vegeta. You have to play through, assumedly, some part of the story mode to unlock these characters to make them eventually playable, and it appears that whenever you come across the story arc where Android 21 shifts her versions and takes on her Majin form, you'll probably unlock her as a playable character from that point forward. But there is a way to circumvent this. This is all coming from the Japanese version of the game. It is mentioned through a guide, an official Dragon Ball FighterZ guide, that if you purchase the guide, it comes with a specific code or some sort of unlock that gives you access to Android 21 early, meaning you can immediately play as her without having to go through all the hoops of playing through modes and everything like that, just like Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Goku when you pre-order the game. And quickly, just to give my opinion on the whole thing, I already thought Android 21 was kind of a cool character, but I didn't know how she was exactly going to fight because she didn't look like a combat-style character because she was sort of like a scientist in some way. I do really like the design on this transformation, as well as fulfilling many fans' desires of having another female character in the roster, which is a very good call. It also fulfills something nice with me because I already find Kid Buu to be a really fun character, as well as Fat Buu. So now we get to have a full Team Majin where we have like all pink team. I absolutely am really glad we get to have that. And she's also fulfilling a character archetype in Versus games and overall Dragon Ball lore that pretty much revolves around taking the abilities of others. So let's talk about her gameplay. The big key component of Android 21, like I said, is similar to another Versus game character, which is Rogue in the first X-Men vs. Street Fighter and in later Marvel vs. Capcom games. Rogue was able to do a special move that grabbed you and kissed you, and through that process she would take your power, or at least one special move, and execute it in a unique way herself. And that appears to be something very similar to what Android 21 is going to do in-game as well. It describes as tasting your opponent and drinking up to your heart's content. Android 21 has her own Kamehameha, and you can use your enemy's energy to do it, meaning you might have to execute this special move first in order to get access to some of this stuff, so you have to absorb the enemy's energy, and then you get modified different special moves. It shows a really specific example with Krillin's Solar Flare, and that shows her executing almost the same animation that Krillin has when you see him do the Solar Flare in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So this could mean that depending on which character you absorb their power from, you could see a one-to-one recreation of that special move, and now she just gets access to whatever specials she's able to steal from the other enemy team. It is a really cool dynamic and something I always liked a lot in the Versus games because they haven't been present for quite some time, but it takes a little bit of effort because you have to like remodel certain special moves onto her. But if they are all truly unique specials, then we're going to see a whole bunch of crazy combos and setups depending on what the other team has, and that's going to change a lot of matchup situations because all of a sudden if you put one move in the hands of Android 21, she can go absolutely freaking crazy, so it's going to make for some interesting situations is what I'm trying to say. And of course, just like the other Buu characters in the game, one of her big aspects to her level 3 super is the fact that she can consume you and turn your ass into a delicious looking dessert. That's about all we get from the scans right now, but overall, I think this character looks great. We did need a bit more female fighters in the game right now, and she has a lot of personality. I'm also quite glad that she's evil. Like, for some reason, I get a little bit more attached to some of the more evil characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ as of right now, and I very much appreciate the fact that she's evil and she loves it, at least from the scans. So at this point, I just want to see what the character can do going forward and how everything looks and stuff like that. If we get the chance to do a breakdown ahead of time, I'll try to do my best if that even is a possibility, but this game is literally only a few days away at this point, and I still got a few other breakdowns to put out. So that does it. It is confirmed. This is the 24th and final character for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and we're going to be getting 8 additional DLC characters that have yet to be announced. Meaning the full Season 1 roster of the game will end at about 32 characters, but we still have no idea how long the release window is for the DLC characters. I still know that one of the biggest requests is absolutely Brawly, but at the same time, I am very curious to see what direction they're going to go with some of the characters. If they're going to focus more on Dragon Ball Super, if they're going to focus on some classic characters. It's going to be very telling what the first few are and where they're going to be going from there. So there's just more news that's going to be happening in the next couple weeks or so after the game's launch, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a good idea at the next few from that point forward. As always, guys, thank you a ton for watching. Let me know what you think about Majin Android 21 in the comments below. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.